Salakia got thrown off by a call, man. Um, but let me read this over again. Second Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And we see that, there was so many earthquakes happening, last week, the week before, constantly. It just constant earthquakes, constant unsettling within the crescent of the earth, around the ring of fire, all the way from the through Pacific Island to the South China Sea to the Canada, all the way down to Seattle to Cali. That whole ring of fire right there is active. Where that San Andreas fault lies on within, all the way up to that shit all damn near goes all the way up to Canada, I believe. That's all active, man. You got volcanoes, you know, just erupting, earthquakes erupting. You got this crazy ass weather pattern going on. We just had that Arctic, what is it, the Arctic blast or something like that, where you got a heavy side of the East Coast that's like extremely cold, you know. And then in the meanwhile, you got people out there in the damn cold protesting. People hot in their spirit, to where they don't even feel the damn cold, So temperatures is up, temperatures is very high, and it's not at rest here in society, man. You got people you got the tribes, the Northern Kingdom, and coming down on you Judites too, Levi and Benjamin too. People are not at ease. They're scared to go to work, scared to drive. And meanwhile, this is affecting Esau's economy too, man. So it says, back to the article, it says, more than 34,000 Minnesotans have signed up to be trained as U.S. immigration and custom enforcement officers, observed with various active groups in recent weeks, many of them since January 7th. When a federal agent shot and killed Renee Good, a poet and mother of three, after an encounter with an ICE convoy in South Minneapolis. The killing of Good, and on Saturday, ICU nurse Alex Pertetti, underscored the dangers of the city's widespread resistance movement, a loosely connected network of neighborhood volunteers who communicate on Signal, the private messaging app, as they play cat and mouse with heavily armed and masked federal agents on snowy streets. This week, these ICE observers have vowed to continue their work despite signs of a political thaw on national stage, after Trump removed Congressional Border Patrol head Greg Bovino from Minneapolis and renewed talks with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a frequent critic. The anti-ICE forces outnumber the ICE agents that have been deployed to a state by more than 10-1 margin. So what does that give Trump the excuse to do? Invoke the Insurrection Act. And he's already been talking about invoking the Insurrection Act. Okay? He's already been talking about invoking that act, man. That came out, like 2 weeks ago or a week ago? And they have an anti-ICE forces that's damn near over 34,000 that outranks the ICE agents. So when things get tough, Esau's gonna get tougher. That is crazy, but ICE agents continue to try to follow orders. In fact, they just arrested an immigrant that actually ran one of their vehicles as he attempted to escape. So more it's going down, man. It says one thing has become very clear. No matter what happens, the Trump administration is not going to stop deporting people. In fact, there are plans to convert 23 giant warehouses throughout the country into a large-scale network of immigration detention centers. So you got Now, 23 giant warehouses throughout the country. A large scale network of immigration detention centers. Like you already have them. Like where I stay, you have one out here. Okay, not too far where I stay at. It's heavily populated with the Northern Kingdom out this way. And that detention center is they actually have a lawsuit filed against it for inhumane practices on the detainees, man. And the people that's want to go look inside of it, that has to get government approval. Okay, because they just had a hearing. The administration and everybody, they're disannulling their letters that's being sent, and not letting them to go see what's going on in these detention faculties. They could be possibly not feeding them, not showering them, because that's exactly what's happening. Possibly torturing them. You even got children in these detention faculties, full of them, all out there in Texas. So these are modern day concentration camps, man. It says the Trump administration is moving ahead with plans to convert 23 e-commerce warehouses across the country, primarily in the eastern U.S., into a large-scale network of immigration detention centers aimed at expanding capacity to fulfill the mandate the American people gave President Trump to deport more than 1 million illegal aliens per year and restore national security. Because that's what these mega people hope for Trump to do. And a lot of these people that are with MAGA, there are a lot of so-called racist Edomites, man, that agree with what Trump is doing. We had one right in front of our camp, this past, what was that, Saturday, saying he agrees with what Trump is doing. He said that blacks and Mexicans should be killed and be deported and all that. So you got no, I'm sorry. He was against the protest out there, and he was agreeing. So he was a MAGA, you know. So you got people that's like that in the midst of these protesters, man. It's just a divided kingdom, and what the Lord say, a kingdom divided against itself shall not stand, but it shall surely fall, man. Okay, these people are all not together. It says where was I at? I stopped at It says this comes after the Biden-Harris globalist regime collapsed borders and allowed a nation-killing invasion of 10 million or more third world leaders, worlders, Salakia. It says Bloomberg reports that immigration and custom enforcement rapid move to build out a network of warehouses is being fueled by $45 billion from the signature One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Salakia. Salakia. This includes the most recent purchase of a warehouse in Hagerstown, Maryland, and another in Surprise, Arizona, totaling $172 million, and a third in El Paso, Texas, will be one of the largest of its kind with 8,500 beds. So they got three of the largest ones that's been funded under the Big Beautiful Bill. One in Maryland, one in Arizona, and one in Texas. So they got one in the central state. They got two. That's closer to the west, Arizona. You got El Paso, Texas, right? And you got one all the way in Maryland. Big ones that's being heavily funded. The warehouse that is being converted in Arizona has over 400,000 square feet of detention space. These are modern day concentration camps, man. Modern day. Let me read some of the scripture real quick. These are modern day detention centers, man. Continue reading on. Back in 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, meaning to be made known. Esau is coming to his end. And his last hurrah, because the devil is coming down with great wrath, which I'm going to get next, because he know that he had but a short time. This is why he's building up all these warehouses. You know, this is why he wants to CHIP everybody. This is why he's fastly crashing the economy, and gold is at $5,000 and silver is out the ass and World War III is at hand. Because he know that his time is at hand. It says, even so, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. This place is ending in an effect and with signs. Okay? Great wrath. Because it's no different from when we were besieged going back into Jerusalem. When Titus, Vespasian, and Domitian, came down on the tribes, man. Great wrath. Which let me hold this here and read some more of this article before I read that. I'll probably close it with that because I believe this article is pretty much almost over. It says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has purchased a massive warehouse in the West Valley, according to Maricopa County property records. Hey, and this is exactly why they're saying the Democrats don't want to fund this bill, because this is what they're doing. They're building these detention centers, to throw in so-called illegals. And a lot of these people have rights, man. They got their papers rights, but they just, being kidnapped. Literally being kidnapped and put in a detention center, against their own will. It says filings show the federal government purchased the more than 400,000 square foot faculty near Sweetwater Avenue and Dysart Road for $70 million in cash for RG Surprise LLC's last Saturday, according to an archive listing. The warehouse, completed by Rockefeller Group, check that out, was previously called the Surprise Point Tay Common Center and was primarily set up to accommodate 1 to 4 tenants. The Trump administration has no intentions of backing down. Neither do the anti-ICE protesters. Okay? So it's a fight. This thing is what known as pressure from above, pressure from below. Esau's bringing that pressure from above, and it's pressure from below. I believe that we will see things happen in the streets of America this year that we have never seen before. Needless to say, that is not good news for any of us. It's not good news for nobody. Why? Because this is Jacob's trouble. Okay? You got this dude, Don Lemon. He was just taken to jail for just recording a protest. Just recording what the ICE agents is doing. Because they're trying to get away with what they're doing. Now they're telling them you got to put body cameras on them and all this other stuff. Just a whole shit show. But you can't even go out there and record them without being snatched up or being, hit on or anything like that. You can't bring a gun. Like they said, you can't bring a gun to a protest. That's what happened to the guy who got shot when that's an open carry state. And they didn't care. They stripped the gun away from the man and blew his ass away. And that was an Edomite. They don't want you putting hands on them. They don't want you recording them. And I'm speaking about these ICE agents. They don't want you seeing nothing. Hear no evil, see no evil, do nothing about it. They want a nation of obedient thinkers. I mean, they don't want a nation of obedient thinkers. They want a nation of obedient workers. They just want you to shut up, listen, and do as they say and what you're told. But the elect is going to resist that. And if we happen to be caught up in that, our brothers may be up in that situation, the Lord has his men. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. This is exactly why he's making these detention centers. One big ass one in Surprise, Arizona. The other big ass one in El Paso, Texas. And the other big one in Maryland. but he looks to have 23 up and running, more than what he already has. And all these stores that have shut down, these abandoned malls, these abandoned 99-cent stores, these abandoned shopping centers, that can all be turned into a detention faculty, man. Just be bought out instead of Esau building it from the ground up, because that's what happened with these buildings. These warehouse that was completed by the Rockefeller Group was previously called the Surprise Pointe Commerce Center and was primarily set up to accommodate one of the four tenants. So these were commerce centers, man. When you look at a commerce center, that's where you have a lot of shopping and, a lot of spending and eating going on. Just look at these these outlets. You could look at it as like an outlet. The Rancho Cucamonga outlet, Riverside outlet, the LA outlet, or Barstow outlet or something like that. you know. But yeah, brothers and sisters, man, I just wanted to get that warning, man, because that's what our job is to do, give our people warning for them to repent, because our time, hey, this thing is nearer than what we believe. And like the article said, this ain't good news for anybody, you know. This thing is coming to an end, So with that, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakahakodash, double honors, and to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and citation unto the hopeful elect. And to the next one, I say Shalom.